A faded movie poster still clings to the wall, its colors softened by time, yet the smiles remain untouched. Beyond that frozen moment, life kept moving in ways no audience could predict. Fame slowly gave way to impossible expectations, private struggles, and the quiet weight of growing older beneath an unforgiving spotlight. Some fought to hold on to the faces the world refused to forget. Others discovered that the greatest transformation had nothing to do with beauty at all. The first chapter begins where the cameras stopped rolling. There was a time when a single smile from Meg Ryan could make love feel both effortless and unforgettable. Whether sharing sharp-witted banter in When Harry Met Sally or creating quiet magic alongside Tom Hanks in Sleepless in Seattle, she became the face of romantic optimism for an entire generation. Her warmth never seemed performed. It felt familiar, like someone audiences had known for years. That rare connection would eventually become both her greatest gift and her heaviest burden. As Hollywood marched forward, the industry that had celebrated her freshness began measuring her against an impossible standard. Public attention gradually shifted away from the unforgettable performances and toward every subtle change in her appearance. Reports and cosmetic surgery experts speculated about procedures such as fillers, Botox, and facial enhancements, while photographs often became the headline instead of the films that had shaped her remarkable career. The conversation revealed as much about society's expectations as it did about the actress herself. Yet the lasting image of Meg Ryan has never been defined by a red carpet close-up. It lives in the unforgettable moments she created on screen, the laughter, vulnerability, and hope that made millions believe ordinary people could still find extraordinary love. Those performances remain untouched by time, continuing to resonate with audiences decades later. Her story ultimately reflects something larger than celebrity. It captures the uneasy relationship between fame, aging, and public expectation, reminding us that even Hollywood's brightest stars cannot escape the passing of time. What endures is not a face frozen in one moment, but the emotional legacy left behind, one that still makes classic romantic comedies feel timeless, no matter how many years have passed. For a moment, Tara Reid seemed to embody everything Hollywood wanted. With her radiant smile, effortless charm, and unforgettable roles in The Big Lebowski and American Pie, she became one of the defining faces of late 1990s pop culture. She represented a carefree generation, the actress who made fame look easy, even as the pressure behind the scenes continued to grow. As her celebrity reached new heights, Reid made the deeply personal decision to undergo breast augmentation and liposuction in the early 2000s. The results did not turn out as she had hoped. Visible irregularities from the procedures became tabloid headlines, and every public appearance drew fresh criticism. A highly publicized wardrobe malfunction on the red carpet only intensified the relentless media attention, transforming private struggles into public entertainment. Before long, the conversation surrounding Tara Reid shifted away from her talent and focused almost entirely on her appearance. The consequences reached far beyond the gossip columns. Major film opportunities became increasingly scarce, and an actress once viewed as one of Hollywood's brightest young stars found herself fighting to stay relevant in an industry that rarely offers second chances. Yet beneath the headlines, another chapter was quietly beginning. In 2008, Reid entered rehab to address problems with alcohol and begin rebuilding her health and her life. Since then, she has continued working through independent films, television projects, and reality shows, determined to define success on her own terms. Her story is no longer simply about fame lost. It is about resilience, personal accountability, and the quiet strength required to keep moving forward after the spotlight turns away. The spotlight always seemed to belong to Liza Minnelli. With a single glance, a perfectly timed note, or the unmistakable confidence she carried across a stage, she could command an audience unlike anyone else. Born to Hollywood icons Judy Garland and Vincente Minnelli, she inherited extraordinary expectations. Yet it was her unforgettable performance in Cabaret that proved she was never living in anyone else's shadow. Winning the Academy Award was more than recognition. It was the moment she claimed her own legacy. Behind the dazzling costumes and standing ovations, however, another story was unfolding. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Minnelli faced highly publicized battles with alcohol and drug addiction, leading to multiple stays in rehabilitation. While audiences continued to celebrate her remarkable talent, maintaining that brilliance demanded a personal fight few could fully see. The applause remained loud, but the challenges waiting beyond the curtain were even louder. Then came one of the greatest tests of her life. In 2000, Liza was diagnosed with viral encephalitis, a serious illness that left doctors uncertain whether she would ever walk or perform again. The prognosis was devastating, threatening not only her career but the very identity she had built through music, theater, and film. Yet surrender never became part of her story. Through determination, rehabilitation, and remarkable perseverance, Minnelli gradually returned to the stage that had always felt like home. Her greatest performance was no longer a character in a celebrated musical. It was the courage to keep standing after life had given every reason to fall. That resilience, as much as her extraordinary talent, remains the defining legacy of one of entertainment's true legends. Few stars could dominate a frame quite like Brigitte Nielsen. Standing 6 feet tall with striking platinum blonde hair and unmistakable confidence, she brought an unforgettable presence to every role. Whether wielding a sword in Red Sonja alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger or portraying the formidable Ludmilla Drago in Rocky IV, Nielsen became one of the defining action stars of the 1980s. Her high-profile marriage to Sylvester Stallone only intensified the public fascination, turning her into both a Hollywood icon and a tabloid favorite. Yet the glamorous image concealed a far more demanding reality. As the spotlight shifted and the years passed, Nielsen faced mounting pressure to preserve the appearance that had helped launch her career. She spoke openly about undergoing cosmetic procedures, including facelifts, breast augmentation, and liposuction, refusing to hide choices that many celebrities preferred to keep private. At the same time, she struggled with alcohol addiction, a battle that eventually led her to appear on Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew in 2008, where she confronted her challenges with remarkable honesty. What followed was not a return to the past, but the beginning of a different chapter. In 2018, Nielsen stepped back into the world of Rocky by reprising Ludmilla Drago in Creed II, reminding audiences that her screen presence had never disappeared. That same year, she welcomed a daughter at the age of 54, embracing motherhood at a stage of life when many believed such dreams had passed. Brigitte Nielsen's story is ultimately about refusing to let age setbacks or public opinion define the final act. Her greatest role has become the woman who keeps rewriting expectations, one comeback and one courageous decision at a time. Before she ever spoke a line, Kathleen Turner could command a room with nothing more than a glance. Her smoky voice, striking features, and magnetic confidence transformed films like Body Heat and Romancing the Stone into defining moments of 1980s cinema. She became the embodiment of the classic femme fatale, elegant, mysterious, and undeniably powerful. Yet the strength audiences admired on screen would soon be tested in ways no script could have imagined. By the mid-1990s, Turner was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, a chronic autoimmune disease that brought relentless pain and gradually affected her mobility. The illness interrupted a career that had once seemed unstoppable, forcing her to step away from the demanding pace of Hollywood. As the physical suffering intensified, she later acknowledged that alcohol became one of the ways she tried to cope with the constant pain, adding another difficult chapter to an already exhausting battle. The spotlight, once focused on her remarkable performances, shifted toward speculation about her changing appearance and persistent rumors of cosmetic surgery. Turner has never confirmed undergoing plastic surgery, choosing instead to speak openly about her health, rather than public gossip. It was a quiet reminder that aging and illness often leave marks far deeper than those visible on the surface. Even so, Kathleen Turner's legacy has never depended on flawless beauty or uninterrupted success. It lives in the unforgettable characters she created and the resilience she demonstrated when life became far more demanding than any role she ever played. Her story stands as a powerful portrait of endurance, proving that true screen legends are remembered not simply for how they looked, but for the courage they showed long after the cameras stopped rolling. There was an almost otherworldly quality to Daryl Hannah's screen presence. With luminous beauty-piercing blue eyes and effortless elegance, she captivated audiences in Blade Runner before proving her remarkable versatility decades later in Kill Bill. She never relied on loud performances to command attention. Instead, her quiet intensity and natural charisma made her one of Hollywood's most memorable stars, leaving an impression that extended far beyond the films themselves. As the years passed, however, public conversation gradually shifted away from her performances and toward her appearance. Recent photographs sparked widespread speculation about possible cosmetic procedures, with some cosmetic surgeons suggesting the use of Botox dermal fillers and perhaps eyelid surgery. Hannah herself has consistently denied undergoing plastic surgery, leaving much of the discussion based on outside opinion rather than confirmed fact. The contrast between cherished memories and present-day images became another reminder of how closely Hollywood continues to examine every visible sign of aging. For many longtime fans, the conversation has never really been about cosmetic treatments. It has been about remembering the actress whose natural beauty once felt refreshingly effortless in an industry often driven by impossible expectations. The public fascination reflects society's changing standards as much as it reflects the celebrity standing in front of the camera. Yet Daryl Hannah's lasting legacy was never created by flawless features alone. It was built through unforgettable performances that continue to inspire new generations of movie lovers. Her journey illustrates the complex relationship between fame, appearance, and public perception, reminding us that time inevitably changes every face, but genuine talent has a remarkable way of remaining untouched. For decades, Priscilla Presley carried herself with a quiet elegance that never demanded attention, yet always received it. From her memorable performances in the Naked Gun films to her tireless work preserving Elvis Presley's legacy, she became far more than a familiar Hollywood face. Her striking dark eyes, timeless beauty, and graceful presence made her one of the defining style icons of the 1960s and beyond, admired by generations who watched her navigate fame with remarkable composure. Yet beneath that polished image lay an experience few people could imagine. In the early 2000s, Priscilla became one of several victims of Daniel Serrano, an unlicensed practitioner who injected industrial-grade silicone into clients while falsely presenting himself as a qualified cosmetic professional. The injections caused facial complications, including lumps and nerve-related issues that drew intense public scrutiny. Although she later confirmed the matter had been resolved, the episode permanently changed the conversation surrounding her appearance, shifting attention away from her accomplishments and toward endless speculation. Even so, Priscilla refused to let public judgment define her life. Rather than retreat from the spotlight, she continued managing business ventures, supporting projects connected to Elvis's enduring legacy, and making select appearances that reflected quiet confidence instead of apology. Through every challenge, she demonstrated that dignity often speaks louder than perfection. Her story ultimately reaches beyond beauty or celebrity. It is about resilience in the face of betrayal, the strength to move forward after public scrutiny, and the determination to protect a legacy while continuing to build one of her own. That enduring grace remains one of Priscilla Presley's greatest achievements. For millions of television viewers, Joan Van Ark will always be remembered as Valine Ewing, the emotional heart of Knots Landing. Week after week, audiences watched her bring vulnerability, strength, and humanity to one of television's most beloved characters. Long before conversations about appearance began to follow her, Joan was celebrated for her talent, radiant blonde beauty, and the natural charm that made her a standout during television's golden era. Years later, however, a different narrative emerged. As photographs of the actress circulated online and in entertainment media, speculation about cosmetic procedures became increasingly common. Various commentators and cosmetic experts suggested the possibility of treatments such as facelifts, fillers, Botox, and eyelid surgery. Joan herself has never publicly confirmed many of these claims, leaving much of the discussion rooted in observation rather than verified fact. Even so, public attention gradually shifted from the performances that defined her career to debates about how she looked as she grew older. The change revealed something larger than one actress's personal journey. Hollywood has long celebrated youth while placing extraordinary pressure on performers to resist the natural passage of time. For stars whose faces become familiar to millions, every visible change is often scrutinized in ways that few people outside the industry ever experience. Yet Joan Van Arc's legacy was never built in a cosmetic surgeon's office or on a tabloid cover. It was built through decades of memorable work that connected deeply with audiences. While public fascination with her appearance continues, the performances that made her a television icon remain untouched. In the end, the lasting image of Joan Van Arc is not one of speculation, but of an actress whose talent left a permanent mark on television history.